Hey guys, welcome back to the Crime Time podcast.
Hi.
Hi. And in today's episode, I'm going to be teaching us all about the unsolved murder of JonBenet Ramsey.
Ooh.
Are you guys ready to get into this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excited.
Okay, so
All right.
our story takes place in Boulder, Colorado on December 26, 1996. So first, let me tell you who JonBenet Ramsey is.
Yes.
Yeah, so do any of you guys know who she is? Well, I know
Not
Lily
a
knows.
clue.
Yes.
Okay.
She was like a little pageant girl, right?
Yes, so JonBenet Patricia Ramsey, that's her full name. She was a child beauty pageant star, and she was 6 years old at the time of her murder. And right off the bat, the first thing I want to say is that I think child beauty pageants are kind of creepy.
Yeah, me too.
Agreed. They're like all rated on their like looks, but with their children.
Yeah, but like I feel like
Yeah.
it sexualizes children, and it's like it like normalizes it to like pedophiles basically.
Exactly. And like,
Yes.
how old was she in the pageant? Like, if she's not any older than 6 years old, like, you're not supposed to look good before 6 years old. You're supposed to look cute like a child, or
Yeah, and you're not supposed to be worried about the way you look when you're a little kid, because
exactly.
you're gonna get into that when you're a teenager. So
You're not
you
even supposed
need
to
it
understand
earlier.
that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But anyways, that like becomes a little bit of a problem later. But okay, and so then her mother was Patsy Ramsey. She was a former beauty pageant winner, so she kind of wanted to carry that on to her daughter,
Very.
I guess. So she was Miss West Virginia in 1977, and she also died in 2006. Okay, and then her father was JonBenet Ramsey. So JonBenet. So JonBenet is like named after him, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was a businessman. Okay, and then her brother, who he was Burke Ramsey, and he's still alive. But yeah, okay. Anyways, so now I'm gonna tell you the timeline of the day of her murder. So first thing that happened was Patsy, the mother. She discovered a ransom note for JonBenet on the steps of the staircase. And it was really suspicious, but I'll tell you more about that later. Okay, and then at 5:52 a.m., which was like right after she found the note, she immediately reports JonBenet missing to the police. And even though the note said not to involve police or like JonBenet would be hurt. But anyway, so then she also called friends and family to help search for her. And then at 5:55 a.m., the police arrived, so 3 minutes later, and they found no signs of forced entry. It was snowy outside and there were no footprints in the snow. And they also didn't even search the basement. Okay, so then the investigation and search continues. And this investigation was like really messed up. Like there was so many mistakes made. So the first thing is that the police didn't search the house after the call because there was no reason to believe JonBenet was in the house from what they read in the ransom note. Which obviously that's like the first thing you do.
Exactly. Like in every single show, you check everywhere in the house.
And from what we learned in criminology, the police are supposed to like get the whole crime scene taped off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first step.
Like if she's missing, obviously it would look like in the house. They just
Yeah, I guess they just trusted everybody. I don't know. These cops or detectives are bad. But anyways. And then the second thing was they only cornered off JonBenet's room. So the friends and the family could freely roam around the rest of the house, and they picked up things and which potentially destroyed evidence. So yeah. Yeah, they ruined it. They made it more confusing than it had to be. But anyways, and it's already extremely confusing. But the other thing is that the Boulder Police Department shared evidence they found with the Ramseys. So whenever they found something that like would give them a clue, they told the parents about it. And they didn't. And one thing that they're supposed to do, like they should have conducted informal interviews with the parents like when they got there, but they didn't. They delayed that. Okay.
So yeah, like by doing that, like wouldn't like the parents be able to get their story straight or something?
Yeah, like the
Like-
parents could talk could talk about what they're gonna do if they're potentially suspects and everything. But yeah. Okay. And then at 1 p.m., the police told John Ramsey, the father, and a family friend to search for anything unusual. So what he did is John and the friend, they went straight to the basement and immediately found JonBenet's body. And this was after I don't know, I have to do the math. Like like 7 hours of searching, right? 7 hours of searching, and he immediately finds the body. Okay.
In the house?
So it's in the basement. Yeah.
They just didn't
And
check.
yeah, and so that's like a little suspicious, especially like why would you think immediately to go search this like part of the house that they don't even go to ever? But anyways, okay. And then so when he found her body, he picked up her body, brought it upstairs, took a piece of duct tape off of her mouth and covered her with a white blanket. And this was after he was told not to touch anything. So yeah.
His fingerprints are all over it.
Yeah, and he destroyed potential evidence also. But yeah.
Wait, is this the dad or the friend?
The dad. The friend was just with him. Okay.
Like,
so now
okay,
sorry.
Sorry. I get that like his daughter just died and like maybe like not tampering with evidence isn't the biggest thing on his mind, but like why would he cover her with a white blanket? Like
I guess to comfort her, but I don't know.
I don't know. I'm kind of
It's cold.
Yeah, it's so sketchy.
Yeah.
Everything about it is weird.
Yeah. Okay. And you would think he would want like everything preserved so they can find who did this.
Yeah.
But I guess but also you could think of it as it's a moment of like trauma because his dead daughter is there. But anyways, okay, so now we're gonna get into like the evidence / details of the murder and like stuff they found on the scene. So JonBenet's body was found with duct tape on her mouth and a cord around her neck. And there was no evidence of rape, but a sexual assault had occurred. Okay, and then so the cause of death from the autopsy, they found that she had died from asphyxiation due to strangulation. And she also had a skull fracture, which contributed to her death. So the first interesting thing we're getting into is that a paintbrush from Patsy's hobby kit was used to tighten the rope.
How can they figure that out? It was just like on the ground.
Yeah, like it was on the ground next to the cord. So they use it. I don't know. I'm not a forensics person, but yeah.
Was the kitchen? Where's the hobby kit? It was just like
I don't
like they're in the basement.
Yeah, it's like the basement's like storage, but it was probably just nearby. I don't know, but it was Patsy's paintbrush, so that's what you know. And then there was also a perfectly rectangular dent in JonBenet's skull, and this was thought to come from, or one theory says that it came from a flashlight found on the kitchen counter, which will be important later when I tell you about the different theories.
Okay.
And then there were also wounds on her back, which is also important later.
What kind?
Just like pokes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And so then this very important piece of evidence was there was DNA from a drop of blood on JonBenet's underwear from an unidentified man. So when they put it through the FBI database of 1.5 million samples, there was no match. And then it also did not match any of the family members. Yeah. And okay, and so then there was also a boot print found next to her body that didn't belong to anyone in the house, in the family. And then there was no footsteps in the snow, as I mentioned earlier. Okay, and then there was also, they saw a broken window in the basement, which would have been a likely point of entry for an intruder. Okay, and then also in the scene, they found a rope close by to the body that didn't belong to the Ramseys. And as of 2006, it had never been tested. And then there was also pineapple in JonBenet's stomach, and the parents don't remember giving her any the night before, but they found a bowl of pineapple in the kitchen that had Burke's fingerprints on it. But the prints don't tell the time, so that doesn't really say much. But the Ramseys say that Burke was asleep in his room all night, and there was no evidence to suggest otherwise. And then the last like piece of evidence was a ransom note. And this ransom note was written with pen and paper from Patsy's stationery. So it was written inside of the house.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if there was an intruder, like they didn't bring it before, they wrote it inside the house.
They took time, like
yeah, like
to write this
when you
down.
do that.
Yeah, so they must have been there for a while.
Yeah.
Who's that risky to write a note like when people are sleeping upstairs and stuff?
Yeah. Okay, so this ransom note is like the most weird part of all of the evidence.
Oh, it gets worse? Jeez.
Yeah. Okay, and do you guys have anything to comment on any of the evidence before I get into this?
I just think they're all really shady.
Everything
like,
is so weird.
Yeah.
And like, how would there be no evidence to suggest that Burke didn't leave his room? Like, literally, what would there be to trace?
I don't like maybe if they I don't know. like a glass of water sitting on the kitchen counter or something like that.
I don't really trust the parents to give a very fair testimonial either.
Yeah.
Is that the word?
Well, it's just there's no evidence to suggest he wasn't in his room, but that doesn't mean that he couldn't have gone out. You know?
True, okay.
That's not proving that he was in his room, but it's saying like there's nothing for sure saying that he left. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So now let's get into this ransom note. So I'm gonna read it to you, but first I'll tell you a few details about it. So handwriting analysis ruled out Burke and John, but ruled Patsy inconclusive. So it's possible she could have written it, but possible she couldn't.
This whole thing kind of freaks me out.
I know.
Like, creeped out.
Yes. Just wait till I read you the letter.
I'm scared.
Okay. And then so it's a ransom note, so they're asking for something, and what they were asking for is $118,000 in exchange for JonBenet, which coincidentally was the same amount John received for a Christmas bonus from his company Access Graphics that year.
What?
So
that's not coincidental.
What? That's a big bonus.
It's such a specific number though, like not 120, like 118.
Yeah, 118,000, which is, I don't know, weird number. Anyways, and then the analysis of the notepad that the letter was written on shows that there was a practice letter that was written beforehand.
Wait, how did they think
that? Is it time to practice?
Yeah. He like did a little typo.
Oh my god.
And also, even though they wrote a practice letter, there's still like some spelling mistakes of weird words. Like there's like some big words, like complicated words that they spelled right, but like simple words that they spelled wrong.
Are you saying you don't misspell simple words?
I don't know. It's just a little weird.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna read you this letter. It's kind of long. It's like 2 pages. Okay. Mr. Ramsey, listen carefully. We are a group of individuals that represent a small foreign faction. Here, I'm just going to comment on it as we go. The first thing, a small foreign faction, so they're like diminishing themselves. You would think that they want to seem big and powerful, like to make him scared. You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
true.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. And then we respect your business, but not the country that it serves. So
What was his
I
business?
believe, he worked for Access Graphics, which
Oh yeah. The Christmas
Yeah.
movie.
and then so but not the country that it serves. So we're to believe that it's because they hate America or something. That's like, okay. And then at this time we have your daughter in our possession. She is safe and unharmed, and if you want her to see 1997, you must follow our instructions to the letter. You will withdraw $118,000 from your account. $100,000 will be in $100 bills, and the remaining $18,000 in $20 bills. I'm not really sure why, but okay. And then make sure that you bring an adequate size attaché to the bank.
What?
Oh,
I don't-
what?
An attaché. I don't know what that means.
Like a bag? Is that what that is?
Yeah.
A person on the staff of an ambassador, typically with a specialized area of responsibility.
All right.
So are they like helping to plan?
I think
how
it's like
they're
the
gonna do it?
person who like holds the money. I don't know. Anyways, it's not important. Okay. When you get home, you will put the money in a brown paper bag. I will call you between 8 and 10 a.m. tomorrow to instruct you on delivery. The delivery will be exhausting, so I advise you to be rested. If we monitor you getting the money early, we might call you early to arrange on an earlier delivery of the money and hence an earlier delivery pickup of your daughter. Okay. Any deviation of my instructions will result in the immediate execution of your daughter. You will also be denied her remains for proper burial. The two gentlemen watching over your daughter do not particularly like you, so I advise you not to provoke them. Speaking to anyone about your situation, such as police, FBI, etc., will result in your daughter being beheaded. And as I mentioned earlier, Patsy immediately called the police when she saw this, but whatever, okay. If we catch you talking to a stray dog, she dies. If you alert bank authorities, she dies. If the money is in any way marked or tampered with, she dies. You will be scanned for electronic devices, and if any are found, she dies. You can try to deceive us, but be warned that we are familiar with law enforcement, countermeasures, and tactics. You stand a 99% chance of killing your daughter if you try to outsmart us. Follow our instructions, and you stand a 100% chance of getting her back. You and your family are under constant scrutiny as well as the authorities. Don't try to grow a brain, John. You are not the only fat cat around, so don't think that killing will be difficult. Okay, wait. Looks like I didn't copy. Hold on. Oh wait, don't underestimate us, John. Use that good Southern common sense of yours. It is up to you now, John. Victory, SBTC. So that's the letter.
Oh my god, that's so scary.
I know.
Yeah, so there's like a lot of weird stuff in here. And also we still don't know what SBTC is. But yeah.
Like their initials or what?
Yeah, but
The organization.
yeah, I guess. I don't know. Okay. Do you guys have anything to point out with that?
I'm just scared.
I know.
Yeah, it's like kind of creepy, but okay.
A little bit.
Wait, so what weird words were misspelled? Like,
Let me see. I forgot. I don't know. It was in the article I was reading, but yeah. Yeah. Anyways, but like attaché was one of the words that they spelled like right.
yeah.
Well, they like scratched off stuff. They scratched it off, and they had to like rewrite it.
I guess the rough draft didn't help.
Yeah, I guess not. Okay, so now are you guys ready to get into the theories?
Oh.
Wait, can we like make our own theories?
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay, Noah, you go first.
Okay, I think it was Patsy. Like, I don't know why she would kill her daughter, but like I feel like it was her because she wrote a rough draft on her own stationery, wrote the whole thing again on her stationery, used her like paintbrush to tighten the rope. She was the only one not ruled out by the handwriting analysis, but like also her blood didn't match.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and but like I don't know why she would do that, and then why she would be the one to find the note and call the police.
Yeah.
Like to pretend it wasn't her. Like, oh, I found this note.
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Like when you like do something that you're not supposed to, or never mind. That's a much smaller scale than what just
Okay.
happened.
Um,
I, I'm not a murderer.
I've heard this theory, but I don't know if I should say it. Would it like it might spoil it?
No,
Or
you
do
can say it. That's fine.
Okay.
Or maybe you should go last. Elena can go
Yeah.
first.
I don't know. Like it I guess like from the evidence it makes sense that it could be her. Maybe she was like okay, wait, maybe she was like working with like another dude and then she was trying to get money from
You're talking about Patsy?
yeah, like
Okay.
Patsy was trying to get the money from her husband and then I don't know, to go off with the other dude.
Oh. So you're saying she wasn't working with her husband, it was all her all alone.
It was like her and maybe like her side dude.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's a
Never heard
spicy
that
theory.
one.
Yeah. Okay, Lily, what do you think?
So I've heard this thing where it was like her brother, um, like he sexually assaulted her, and he's the one that killed her after like she stole his pineapple or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And like I know that because of wasn't there like an interview with him like years afterwards?
Yeah, with Dr.
Really,
Phil.
really weird about the whole thing. So
Yeah.
basically I think yeah, he killed her and then the parents covered it up
Okay.
so that he wouldn't get into jail.
Okay, well, since you mentioned that one, I'll do that one first.
Wait, he accidentally did it or he did
Yeah,
it?
he accidentally did it in like a fit of rage because he was little.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here, I'll
And
explain
then
it.
the parents covered it up.
Yeah. So basically, there was a CBS documentary called "The Case of JonBenet Ramsey," and this placed heavy suspicion on Burke. And this is where the theory comes from. So what they say is that JonBenet took a slice of pineapple from Burke's late night snack, which was the one found on the dining room table, the bowl of pineapple. And they found pineapple in her stomach. So then because he was in a fit of rage, he striked her with a nearby flashlight, and then that would explain the wound in her skull, and then the wounds on her back, which they were previously assumed to have come from an encounter with a stun gun, but in this theory, they were consistent with the edges of one of his toy train tracks. So they think that he might have like poked her unconscious body to see if she was still alive, you know. But yeah, but then the thing that is that like the DNA didn't match him or anybody in the Ramsey family. So that's why this theory isn't like that believable. But yeah, so that's one of them.
What about the note? Like they just
yeah, it doesn't really say anything about the note, but yeah, or another thing would be like the parents covered it up, helped cover it up because they wanted to protect their son. But yeah, okay, so that's the Burke theory. And then the Patsy theory is that she accidentally murdered JonBenet in a fit of rage after a bedwetting accident and then tried to cover it up. So JonBenet frequently wet the bed, and so this theory says that like the mom was so tired of it that she slammed JonBenet's head into a hard blunt surface like a bathtub, and then strangled her with the cord and the paintbrush and covered it up with the strange ransom note. And then also, like, while this like story came out, people were accusing Patsy of sexualizing her daughter in the pageants, and so that's why like people thought were like leaning towards her. But yeah. Okay. And then John. So Linda Ardent, who was the first officer to arrive on the scene, she sent John Ramsey to search the house, where he went straight to the basement, which was really suspicious.
Yeah.
And she felt like he knew too much. And she found it suspicious that John and Patsy let the 10 a.m. deadline of the ransom note slip by without a word. So like in the ransom note, it said like, you have to give us the money by 10 a.m. or we're going to kill her. And they didn't even say anything when it got to 10 a.m. And then also she in this article I read, she said that she believed so heavily that it was him that she like counted the bullets in her gun when she was like in the house with them, because she felt that she was going to need to use it.
Wow.
But yeah. Okay, so then a detective on the scene heard him making plans to fly to the family to Atlanta hours after the murder as well. And then John admitted to this, but he said that they'd been asked to leave the house and just wanted to go home to Atlanta, where they lived for 25 years. And then people were also accusing him of sexual abuse, but there was no evidence ever found to support this. Okay, and then we have 3 more possible theories, but these are like random people. So we have Bill McReynolds. He was a friend of the Ramseys who dressed up like Santa Claus the week before JonBenet's murder to entertain the neighborhood children at one of Patsy's famous Christmas gatherings. And then his wife wrote a play about a child being molested and murdered in a basement, which is what happened to JonBenet.
Hey.
And his daughter was kidnapped 22 years before JonBenet's murder. And then it was unlikely he had anything to do with the murder, but he was like suspiciously close to JonBenet. He said he felt close to JonBenet, and her murder, he was quoted as saying, "Her murder was harder on me than my operation. She made a profound change in me." And this is in reference to his heart surgery, where he brought a vial of glitter gifted to him by JonBenet with him into his heart surgery.
Wait, that's actually...
That's creepy.
Wait, I feel like it's this dude now. Like,
and even weirder, he asked his wife to mix the glitter with his ashes when he dies.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's really suspicious. If anything, he's probably definitely a pedophile. At least that's what I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if he had anything to do with her murder, but this is a creepy
I don't know. That one, like, it like lines up with a lot of the evidence, kind of, except for the note, I guess. But
yeah. Okay. And then the next one we have is Gary Oliva. He was a 32-year-old known sex offender in Boulder, Colorado, when JonBenet was murdered. And in 2000, this was after the murder, he was arrested on unrelated drug charges, and he was carrying a photo of JonBenet in his backpack.
What the?
And he said that he felt the need to build a monument, a shrine to this little girl. And then his friend, Michael Vale, said that Oliva called him a day after the murder and said, "I heard a little girl. I heard a little girl." And then so Oliva said that he heard this girl in Boulder, Colorado, and no other girl was harmed in that area that night. It was just JonBenet. Okay. And so the knots used to strangle JonBenet also were similar to those used in an incident where he attempted to choke his mother with a telephone cord.
What? All these people are obsessed with her, dude.
And then he was also
I feel so bad for her.
Yeah. He was also not a match to the DNA. And then in 2016, he was arrested for child pornography. So he's still in jail.
Maybe like all these people working together, like what the heck?
Yeah, I don't know. It's possible. Okay, so then the last one, I'm going to get through this, is John Mark Carr. So this was a divorced father and elementary school teacher. He brought himself into the mess by reaching out to a University of Colorado Boulder professor named Michael Tracy over email, in regards to a documentary Tracy was making on the case. And then when the emails took a disturbing turn, revealing the grown man's sexual fascination with JonBenet, Tracy reported Carr to the police. So he was arrested in 2008 as a suspect, and they found him in Bangkok, Thailand, where he fled to escape child pornography charges. And in the emails, he used similar wording to the ransom note, used Patsy's mother's nickname, which there would be no way he would know that. And he said he was in love with JonBenet, and he confessed to hitting JonBenet in the head with a flashlight.
What?
Yeah, so he confessed to the murder, but he didn't match the DNA, and he was written off as a suspect, and he was just a pedophile who was like, he just wanted notoriety and fame. He was just like a really creepy guy. And then he wasn't even in Colorado at the time of the murder, so it couldn't have been him. But yeah. And then I'll just get these last details in and we'll like wrap this up. So in 1999, a grand jury voted to indict her parents on charges of child abuse resulting in death, but the district attorney didn't sign because there was not enough evidence. And then in 2008, they fully exonerated the Ramsey family and apologized for like dragging them into it. And so yeah, and so the further testing ruled them out, and the intruder theory is much more likely, and this case is still open and unsolved.
Wow. All right. Well,
oh my god, there's just so much, and
yeah,
not enough time to discuss it.
Yeah, not enough time to discuss it, but that's it.
Well, thank you, Danny. That was a very interesting episode and a lot to think about. Stay tuned for Saturday's episode where we're going to be talking about the death of the beloved John Lennon. Bye.
Bye.